everyone, and welcome back to Scale Modeling Obsession. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope everybody had an enjoyable Christmas and New Year's. Everything was good here on my end. So I hope everybody, I wish everybody a good New Year, and I hope everything is going well for you. I hope everybody's staying healthy and all that kind of thing. So I wanted to do this update. This is an update on the popcorn wagon. I'm not going to show an update on the chuck wagon simply because I've done so much to it that if I show you an update, I'm basically showing you the whole thing, other than a few little items. So with the popcorn wagon, I still have a little ways to go, so I'm not going to give away what the final would look like. We've seen this before, the body, and there's some things I'm going to have to do with this body that I want to get into. But first thing, I remember last time we spoke about an update with this popcorn wagon. I had asked the question of whether I should use the kit brass chrome or if I should dechrome everything and use the Krylon foil metallic gold. And I've decided to stick with the kit chrome, except for the one part that I don't have here, because I'm getting ready to prime that. I'll be hitting that with the Krylon gold foil, but the rest is going to be kit chrome. And I found a way to do it so that I'm not messing up the kit chrome. And the first thing is, here is the roof of the popcorn wagon. So I painted the screen black. The screen is so thin and it's not very deep that I'm just going to leave it like that. I tried to use a Q-tip or a paintbrush and get just, leave the black in the square recesses and then get the screen, like we've all done before. And it just keeps wiping it off right down to the gold. So, or the brass color. So I'm just going to leave it black. So it'll be black, and then you'll see the chrome on the sides. And here's the top piece. And I figured I'd hit all those spots that we talked about that were red, where I cut them off. I hit them with Molotov chrome. I'm waiting for them to dry. I'd like to have it dry for a few weeks. And I've already tested another piece. And then I have a clear or translucent yellow that I'll be able to hit that dot with, and then it'll make that red dot disappear. And this goes on top of here. So this will be the roof, and it'll be glued down, and that should look good. You can see some of the gold still peeking through where I've painted it, where I'm going to have to paint it again. It's hard to paint this brass. It's hard to paint any chrome without having to do it quite a few times in order to cover everything. So you can see that little bit. I'm going to have to re-hit that again, but then it'll look good. So we've gotten that. We've painted the grill for the engine. So we've painted the radiator and all that, and that looks good. That all came out well and all that. So we're going to have a little bit of a mismatched tone here, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's going to look good. And I did the same thing. You can see the little bit of chrome here on the side. Once I hit that with translucent yellow, you won't even be able to see it. So we have that. And yeah, I remember Steve Minion talking about, putting chrome pieces together and all that. Yes, you have to scrape. You see the red where I've scraped? You have to scrape everything down to the bare plastic on both pieces in order for it to stick, or it'll never stick. Even with crazy glue, it just won't stick. I found a way for the lights. I put the lights together. I haven't put the lenses in yet, but here's one of the lights, and when I put them all together, all the seams disappeared except for the very back. The very back had it had a seam and a piece where I cut it off the tree. So what I did is I filed that down to make it smooth, and then I just hit it with red. Hopefully that isn't focused there. So that looks pretty good. So I hit it with red so that it looks like the back. Now that will be on the back of the light. So it looks like the back of the light is glowing red. So you can see it from behind the car. And then the front of the light has that chrome inside. And then I'll put the lens in there. And it'll look good. And it took care of the situation. So that's how I did that. And I did it with all three. I found I had to go through my extra parts, and I found a lens that I was able to put in this one. This goes on the very back, and I put the lens in, and then I hit that with red. If I'm going to do anything with the red, I'm going to hit it with a gloss clear coat, probably a Future on a brush. Just hit it lightly with a gloss clear coat to make it a little bit shiny. So it's like a shiny light. And that goes on the very back of the car. So I was able to fix that situation and take care of the situation of the seams. If you notice, there's no seams. You can't see any seams. So I was able to fix that. I have the whole, and basically almost the entire interior done. Foot pedals are in, the steering wheel's in, the gear shift's in, the seat's in. This is the popcorn maker. And I have that piece, the piece that goes on the top, where I used the brass piece that came with the kit for the hot light. And then this is the bowl that makes the popcorn pops out of. And that's all been left chrome. And it still moves. You can see it moving. It moves. Not that that matters, because I'm not going to play with it. And I have painted the top of it with Vallejo Model Color Brass. So, and then the back, I did as best as I could with the glass for what I had for a kit that was so old. And then this just sits on top. It just sits on there like that. It'll glue down. So you have the mechanism for making the popcorn and the light and all that. And this is as good as the glass is going to get with trying to glue it together and only gluing the bottom and the top and trying to leave the sides open. But if you notice, there's little white pieces inside. What that is this piece of foam. I got this piece of foam out of something that we got. And if you can notice here, each one of them, if I put my hand up, maybe a little clearer, each one is a small little round. So that's going to be tedious getting all this. It doesn't flake off as easy as you think. And then I'm going to try to fill this at least halfway with this white foam. So popcorn's white. You know, remember, you have to ask for butter. It doesn't just come with butter. You always have to ask. So there's that. So the interior is basically done other than the peanut maker once I glue this on and I fill this up halfway. So that's what's going on. The next step that I'm getting ready to do tonight, since I'm by myself, tomorrow I'll be taking a break because my wife will be off again, is this is one of the pieces that goes on the side. And yes, decals do. Somebody left a comment in a post, the last post that I made about the popcorn machine, that decals don't stick to chrome. Decals stick to chrome. They'll stick to anything. You wipe it off with alcohol, you clean it, so that there's nothing on there. The chrome won't wipe off with just one little quick wipe of alcohol. And then you put your decals down and they'll stick. But if you notice, I have to glue this to this. And it goes under like that. So, like Steve, like I was talking about with Steve, I still have a little bit more chrome to get off. I want to get this top edge off. I've scraped that down. I'll get this top edge off of that chrome. And then I'm going to have to pull it back, and I'm going to have to get a pencil and do a slight mark all the way across so that I know where I'm at, and I have to scrape this paint off so that I glue plastic to plastic, and then it'll stick on, and then you'll see the wood on the bottom decorative trim. You'll see the wood through that. So that's where I'm at, and that's where I have to finish up with that, and that becomes very tedious work. Scraping chrome can be really tedious. It just can. And then I have to clear off this paint so that I can glue plastic to plastic. Because I don't like to glue plastic to paint that has a clear coat on it and all that kind of stuff, because eventually, and I've had it happen on quite a few of my models, eventually you go to pick up the model or you go to move the model and pieces fall off of it. Whether you use crazy glue, you know, no matter what you use, pieces fall off if you don't glue plastic to plastic. So, I mean, that's my experience. Maybe you guys have had different experience. So that's what's going on with the popcorn wagon. And you can see here how this is going to look. Give you a quick little taste of that, because I think this is going to look really nice. And you can see where I've scraped the bottom of this too. See the red? You gotta scrape everything when it comes to chrome. That looks good. That's really going. You can see the chrome sticking out. You can see the gold on the side, and all that, and you can see the trim around the top. That's going to look very nice, along with all the chromes around the side, and then the lights on the side, and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to turn out nice. So this show rod will be very nice. I am still debating whether I am going to wire the engine. I'm not real good at that, and it's very tedious, but I might, for this model and for the Chuck Wagon, I might just take the time, even if it takes me a week. I might just wire this engine. So that's what's going on, and this is one of two videos that I'm going to be making. If you want to, you'll see the second video coming up. It's not quite a new direction. It's just something new that I'm going to try to do and see how it goes over. But I'll explain that in the next video. So let me know what you think of how I solved the problem with the lights for where you clip it off the tree. I think that was a good idea. My wife actually gave me that idea. She said, why don't you just sand it down flat and paint it red so it looks like a tail light? And I thought, duh, that's a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? So there you go. I think it came out great. You see no seams or anything. It was a great idea. So, all right. We shall see you probably the next time you see this car. It'll be with the final. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.